Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about training for pull-ups. In a previous video, we had answered a viewer's comments about not being able to do pull-ups. Pull-ups are a pattern-specific movement, and if you don't practice them, even if you are in good shape doing other things such as kettlebelling or clubbing, you will still have to put in pull-up training specifically to develop your neurological drivers so that you can build the pattern to teach your muscles how to fire. A problem that many people have is they try to do pull-ups without a general physical preparedness program already in place, and they end up getting hurt. Many people will get hurt in their elbows and their shoulders specifically when they try to start doing pull-ups too fast or train to max effort. That tends to be pretty bad. People will end up with elbow tendonitis and things like that, which will keep them from doing training for months at a time. We've talked about building up using negatives in a previous video and then running volume cycles of negatives until you can do pull-ups. In this video, let's talk about if you can already do pull-ups safely and free of injury. Somebody in the comments, I do not remember who, my apologies, said that they could do 10 pull-ups and they wanted to know what they should do. First response is always, it's a volume cycle. The second response is determine the numbers that you're going to use for your volume cycle. There is a different method where you use 50%. With this method, we're going to talk about 60% and 80%. If you could do 10 pull-ups, 60% of that would be 6, 80% would be 8. If you could do 11 pull-ups and your number came out different than a whole number, then round down, because we would like to train sub-maximally for pull-ups because we are trying very specifically not to damage the tendons and the ligaments in our upper body, as we are with all training. If you're injured, you can't train, you get further away from your goals, not closer to your goals. With that in mind, we would take our 60% day and we would start a volume cycle. Volume cycle means that we would set a period of time. We would do 6 reps, and then when we start, we would pick, say, 5 sets of 6, and we would do 30 total reps. The next time we came back, we would do 6 sets of 6, 36 reps, 7 sets of 6, 42 reps, 8 sets of 6, 48 reps, and we would start building up. At some point, it would be nice to start rolling in an 80% day. The problem with an 80% day is it quickly overtakes a 60% day in total volume. Kind of a general rule of thumb, do 4 workouts at 60% before you start rolling into a heavy light cycle with your 80%. That's just to help you get your 60% volume higher than your 80% volume. We would like you to keep your 80% total volume below the 60%. With that in mind, if your 80% total volume is going to overtake the 60, then start your 80% volume over again. That is a built-in step down in the training idea in order to keep the 60% volume high. That continues up, and to give yourself a rest. Then it becomes heavy light, but the heavy day keeps starting over and over and over again and building up till it hits the 60, and then it kicks back and it starts over again. That has a built-in double cycle here. So the 60% is going up on its line of volume. The 80%, ooh, we got 2 colors of chalk. The 80% is gonna go up faster. When it gets there, it's gonna kick down and kick back up and kick down and kick back up. And that's just a very simple mathematical idea to help people keep out of overtraining. It is very easy to overtrain something like pull-ups. It takes many years to get really good at pull-ups, and it's a skill that disappears pretty quickly, which is pretty annoying if you spend a lot of time working on it. But pull-ups are a perishable skill. They are much more perishable than pulling things up from the ground, in my experience anyway. If we were to roll our pull-up program into our normal nerd math Tetris of training, if we were running an ABC program and we had 2-handed club on Monday and Thursday, clean and press Tuesday, Friday, mill squat program Wednesday and Saturday, then you could throw in your pull-ups, if you're good at them, 3 days a week, and it would go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. What you are going to notice is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, all have the pull-up program line up with a different program. Now here's a choice you need to make. Are you going to do the pull-ups before the other part of the program or after? I'm going to recommend doing it actually before the kettlebell part of your program, because this is going to require more absolute strength than most of these other programs. Most of these other programs are already going to be running on their heavy light cycles, and you could down-regulate these programs and focus and make the pull-up program the hardest part, the primary part. Or you could do it after and it would become a back burner type of training. That all depends on what you think as an athlete, and you would put whichever one you think is more dangerous to you first. Always put the most dangerous thing at the beginning, because as you get tired, your technique will degrade. As your technique degrades, your possibility of injury goes up. So whichever one is more likely to hurt you, do it first so that you're fresher, and whichever one that you're better at or have more experience with, do second. Always do the dangerous part first that's going to accidentally kill you, get it out of the way, and then do all the easy stuff near the end. It's a much easier way to do training, and it will keep you alive a bit longer. This is kind of our method one, the 60%, 80% method. Take your total number of pull-ups that you can do, test it when you are fresh, after a good warm-up, of course, so you don't trash something. Find your 60% or 80%. If it's not a whole number, then round down. Do your volume cycles where you start adding volume. Start the 60% first. Do probably 4 workouts before you start rolling in the heavy light variability. Anytime your 80% is going to overtake your total volume of the 60%, start that cycle over. That's a built-in step down phase. Roll it into your program 2 or 3 days a week on non-consecutive days, and do whichever part's going to kill you first. Do the most dangerous part first.